What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys have seen the last video, we did the valve cover and the breather catch can for the REDZONERACE CRX. I just got out here and I was just trying to find something to do. I found the reservoir that came out of this car, and I guess it was already painted black, which is good because if you look, it kind of matches with the theme of the engine bay, even with this dirty white tan looking reservoir cover here. But I think I want to put it right here in this corner because originally it sat there, but we have a pipe that's going here, and if there wasn't a pipe there, a coolant line coming from this nipple going across here, I mean, it's gonna be all bad. It's gonna melt, it's gonna leak coolant everywhere. I'd rather put it here and have it away from all the hot stuff, and simple enough, you know, coolant line goes there. But the thing is, we don't have a tab to mount it in this corner. So originally I wanted to put up in this corner because the tab for the charcoal canister, you can't see it, it's on the firewall. It's the same configuration as that tab down there, which fits this right here, right? But the catch can is in the way, so I'm gonna have to come up with something to get this to mount right here, and then obviously go to the parts store, get a coolant line for that. So I'm not really too focused with this car today in this video. I actually want to work on that car, but I'm going to sort that out real quick, and then we'll move on to the all-wheel drive car. This is my solution, my CAD, my cardboard aided design. I made a little template of the back of the reservoir, this little triangle piece right here, right? And then I folded the ends to lock this reservoir into place, kind of how the factory mounting points are. You can see these little tabs coming out right here, and then I transferred it into random sheet metal that I found, bent those tabs, and then I welded it, because what I did was I slid it like I did right here with the razor blade to fold it in, and then I welded it so it doesn't move anymore, right? So got it done on both sides, made it a little short, so I had to add a little extension, and then drill a hole out. This goes on the back, locks into place, right? And then that hole bolts up right there. So with the height of this lined up to that hole, this is just barely passing the core support, which should clear the hood. So it looks good right now. I'm not going to test fit it. I'm going to go ahead and just paint that black, bolt it up, and then get this thing secured so we can mount that sucker into place. Let that dry out real quick. The thing I like about this paint, quick color from Home Depot, it's like $1. I don't know what the price is now, but it says it right there, fast drying, all purpose. For brackets that you're not going to see, it's going to do the job perfectly fine. I'm not worried about it like flaking off or whatever. I don't think I've ever had it flake off. So looking for a quick drying paint, go to Home Depot and grab yourself one of them quick color cans. Yes sir, yes sir. I'm probably gonna have to go to the parts store, I don't know, sometimes a different day, to get the hose that I need. Actually, I remember seeing this the other day. The question is it long enough? Wow. Perfect. So we have a little zip tie right here holding the coolant line away from dangling all the way out here, and we got a zip tie there, zip tie here. We got water with wetter inside of this, about about a quarter way up, and the reservoir is done. I also mentioned in the last video that I was gonna kind of hop back into this car a little bit. Well, not really hop back on, but kind of talk about what the game plan is with this and when we're gonna start working on it again. We're actually not gonna talk about this car today, or at least the rest of my day. I'm gonna tinker with this car. Now, this is my all-wheel drive CRX built motor. We just tuned it like a month and a half ago maybe, and a day or two after we got it off the dyno, we drained the E85 from the car. Why, you may ask? When I got home, I realized that the fuel cell was leaking, so I completely drained all of the gas from the tank and put it in my 5-gallon VP jug over there, and the car has been sitting since. Now, the reason why I want to address this now is because this car is on E85. Now the fuel cell's dry, the lines are dry, the pump is dry, the filters are dry, injectors are dry. I want to clean out the fuel system because E85, if you let it sit for too long, it can gunk up everything, and then everything won't work up to par again. So I'm probably gonna have to pull the injectors out, probably not today, but I'm gonna have to pull it out, get it cleaned, pull the filters out, clean those suckers out. But the thing I want to do today is pull out my fuel cell and figure out where this leak is coming from. If we can figure out where the leak is coming from and we repair it, I do want to try and build an in-tank fuel pump hanger system. This one requires an inline, so we fill it from here, and then we have a dash 10 in the back that goes out of the car in the trunk, goes underneath the car, and then it goes all the way to the front to the fuel rail. So it has an external fuel pump, and it is super loud. I want this car to be quieter because this is my street car, and somebody sent me a full-blown dual pump hanger, and I want to upgrade the fuel pump as well. So we maxed out the fuel pump in this car, 390 at a little under 500 horsepower, with all of my fuel cell fuel system stuff. So I want to upgrade the fuel pump so we can bring duty cycle down and have room to make more power later. I think I'm talking too much. Let's take off this fuel cell from the bracket. Double check this. No gas. You don't even smell the E85 in here. This is an eBay 15-gallon fuel cell. Now, the factory tank is like 10, 11, 12 or something like that. But I bought the 15 because this car drives, at least I want it to drive everywhere. So the bigger the fuel cell, the better for me to pump less. But gotta take off the return. This is a 6. Then we have our sending unit, which is always inaccurate. If you guys ever wonder why my gauge always reads 0, it's because it's not working. Why? Because we have a gauge down there for the aftermarket fuel cell. So take off this tape, figure out what wire is going where, and it just fell out. That's freaking awesome. This is the breather ventilation for the tank. This is my return line. And then on the bracket, there are 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that's holding this cell to the bracket. So I don't remember what size it is, but I brought a 13. And it's a 13. So this is the bracket that I made for the trunk, and you can see the battery box bracket is also integrated to that, right? Doesn't move anywhere. But this right here is window foam, so the fuel cell is not hard mounted on the bracket. So I'm not sure where it's leaking from, but I think it might be a pressurized, like a pressure issue that caused it to crack somewhere. So not sure. where it's coming from, but I'm gonna inspect it real quick and see what we find. To tell you guys the truth, it could be as simple as this being loose. I'm gonna fill it with water anyways. I'm gonna cap this one off, see if it's leaking anywhere, just to make sure. So this thing right here is the anti-slosh foam, and I'm literally trying to pull this whole thing out of the hole on the fill neck. Now I could take this whole thing apart, but it's complicated because you got to get a tool inside to hold the screw from spinning to take off all of these bolts. Now the plastic fill unit that came with this fuel cell deteriorated. It literally cracked probably like in a couple of months, so I had to buy another one out of aluminum, and then this didn't fit because there's two sizes, and this was done the night before I went to the track, so I made a little adapter from the big hole to the small hole, and like I said, there's a ton of bolts to remove to get into the bigger opening of the fuel cell. So instead I'm just squeezing all of this out through the hole, and I already took off a lot of this from the fuel cell because it kept getting in the way of the sending unit, which made my fuel gauge read full all the time. So I'm just removing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it back in. It's supposed to do its job, anti-slosh foam, to keep fuel from sloshing around, you know what I mean? But a lot of people are saying that E85 actually deteriorates this material. Now from looking at it, it doesn't seem like it's deteriorating, but people are saying that a lot of these small particles can break up, go into the line, you know, plug up your fuel filter and all that, and then you'll run into issues. But like I said, not sure if I'm gonna run this or not. So the fuel cell is empty. What I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna fill it up with water, not much, but I got a cap on here. I tightened this one up and I cleaned the bottom just so I can visibly see if there's any water coming out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just fill that up. Some lady just drove by in a Chevy truck, like some crackhead, made a U-turn, stopped, and she was like, "Hey, are you guys selling that van?" I said, "Hell no, have a good day." And she just on out of here. The random shit you come across over here. I mean, 2 minutes, I have not seen any leaks whatsoever. I really think it was this the whole time, because when I got home, parked the car, it was leaking on the driveway. The next day, there was still a puddle there, and then when I moved it out, not driving it, I pushed it out and moved it back up, and there was a puddle over there as well too. So it was consistent. If it was leaking like through a crack or something, it should be dripping right now, right? So could have been as simple as this guy being loose, that we were leaking fuel. But regardless of the fact, like I said, we have the fuel cell out. I wanted to do this mod. Somebody sent me a full-blown dual pump hanger, which is typically for like the EGs and DCs and stuff. I don't remember if there was a kit for the EF, but what this allows you to do, self-explanatory, dual pump hanger kit. So this allows you to bolt on two, it even says it right there, EG, EK, DC. This allows you to bolt on two pumps of your choice in tank and have enough fuel pressure to the front of the car to make the power you're trying to make. So I believe these are wired for Walbros, and you can run two Walbro 450s and then like enable one, disable the other one, or run a single if you please. I can probably run like a Hellcat 525 or run two Walbro 450 just to run two Walbro 450 just to have that extra fuel pressure, you know, for more power later down the road. So it comes with the hangers. This bolts up there, same thing on the other side. And what I'm trying to figure out is obviously bolting this on, where does this bracket sit the fuel pump in the tank, because if I'm going to try to like make this work with my fuel cell, I want to make it where the pump filter sits in the sump. This right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just screw these together real quick, find a random fuel pump somewhere, and kind of like get an estimate of where the pump and filter is gonna sit. Okay, so you see this crazy angle? Very sharp. And if I put this up against the fuel cell flat, that is freaking pointing in the wrong direction that I'm trying to have the fuel pump go to. So this is the fuel pump that one of my buddies provided me when my car broke down in the middle of the mountain. If you look, just a general idea, the filter is freaking pointing up. Now if I point it down, it still doesn't reach the bottom of the fuel cell, especially where I want it to go, which is the sump. Way far off. So I was throwing the idea around on modifying the leg, or actually even building new ones. If I put this flat with that one screw out, I can swivel this to point the pump in a direction that I'm trying to get it to go to. So just gonna hold that up here real quick. So the idea here is to modify this to have another mounting point, because obviously with this pointing straight, we're way off here. Otherwise I would get another, like, I don't know, same thickness aluminum and make another like leg myself, and use the two current mounting location to point the fuel pump where I need it to go. Honestly, I should be doing this when I have the actual fuel pump that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to clean up all my stuff right now. I can't really do much with the fuel cell. The reason why is because I don't know where to position this until we get the pump and filter to know where it's going to go, to know where I need to, you know, mount this sucker into place. So we're gonna put this off for another day, I guess. And I think what I want to do right now is I want to get my bumper out of the garage. It's literally just leaning back here, and my brother works out every day, so he pushes this out and just kind of clear away for all of the weights and stuff. So I want to get this out of the garage and get it installed on the car itself. So after this sitting on here for a while, I noticed that it's damped right there in the back. Kind of curious to see where that leak is coming from. There's definitely water coming out right there. I wiped it clean, I flipped the tank back, and right away, look at that. That's definitely a crack, probably on the welds. This mark, I made this mark the day that I fabricated the charge pipes and stuff before the turbo install. So this is the general area that I'm gonna have to cut to clear that charge pipe. Now if this was an 88-89 bumper, which is flat right here, I might be able to get away without having to cut it, but because this car is a 90-91, I kind of want to keep it 90-91. This right here is an 88-89, and you can see there's no scoop there. I mean, it is what it is. This bumper is already cut up. I did extend the holes. This had 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I cut the rest of it all the way through. Might as well, since the intercooler goes all the way up here anyways, and the whole front grille is already cut for the previous intercooler. So what I'm gonna do here is, I don't know if I can fit a grinder through here, but I typically use a very sharp razor carefully. You can also do this very slow and just keep slicing the same line with a sharp blade, and it will eventually cut through.
It's like filleting a fish, even though I've never filleted a fish before. First piece. You can put pressure by trying to fold the piece you're cutting while cutting, and it actually goes a lot smoother. That's the second piece. Now let's test fit. Wow. That was the first shot. And if you look, the bumper can be fitted up without gaps. So it looks like maybe gotta trim that down a little bit, get it nice and even, and then put a little curve right here. But for the first shot, hey, I'm stoked. I am definitely stoked. So I'm hoping one of my spare hood has a latch on it, and this one does. Okay, I'll need a lot of adjustment. So this car was hit in the front before. Now before I painted this car, I tried straightening out the frame a little bit, but I guess not quite enough. So if you look, you can't really tell, but it's smushed in right here, and you can see all the wrinkles right there. So what is happening is the T-bar places the latch further back because it's pushed in, and if you look right here, it does not line up with the hole. It's like half an inch back, so it's half an inch off from this to that hole. Two options. I can pull this forward a little bit, or hollow out these holes and move the latch back. All right, so got the hood to latch. The good thing is the like extra latch that you have to pull right here, it actually hooks up into the latch on the T-bar. What I had to do was, I forgot to mention, I actually hollowed this hole out more so I can push the latch downward and line this up to the hole. So good thing that this thing still lines up, the little hook latch, so that way if it decided it wanted to pop up, it'll catch first, and if you have quick reflex, hit the brakes so that way the hood doesn't, you know, flop open. I've had it happen to this car where I saw it and I hit the brakes on the Highway 1 cruise when we did the NorCal CRX cruise. I did it on that car and caught it in time before the hood came all the way up. So I just adjusted it, looking good, looking good. All right guys, so we got all of the 10 mils replaced. We got both hinges, both fenders, both headlight, the T-bracket, the radiator stay, the latch, and it is looking so much better under the hood. Hell yeah. I was hoping to get further with the all-wheel drive CRX today, but I decided instead I'll wait for the pump to show up to know what I got to modify as far as adding the full-blown hangers in, and I don't think I'm gonna do much more
tonight.
You guys already know though, progress is better than no progress. We got the hood to finally latch. I had to clear this a little bit more to fit the radiator cap. We got the reservoir installed, the hardware is replaced, the bumper installed kind of, and we got the fuel cell out of the car, and we verify it has a crack that I gotta repair, and then we'll get that car up and going again. But I am going to wrap it up for tonight, guys. So if you enjoyed the progress update a little bit here on this car and a little bit on that car, we're going to get them up and going soon. If you guys enjoyed this video a little bit, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for the plans with this car, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm probably going to do the video tomorrow. You guys will probably see it in a couple of days, but hit the subscribe button if you guys want to stick around for that. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.